welcome back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. This is going to be great, or possibly terrible. I don't know. The White March stuff, it's fine. Alright, Skinflint, what say you? Reach out for the soul. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as the customer enters, a disheveled young noble, once white doublet stained with a life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit, before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling panicked in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger, to the dwarf's ill-conceived delight. A few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his two sharp teeth as he examines his haul. Okay, well that's interesting. Alright, so I had the Colonel, talk to me. We just did our our Divinity Original Sin 2 recordings for the week. And he said that I should fix stuff. So I'm going to fix stuff. He said that he's noticed that I've had this issue and I've already complained about it, and I've even asked him about it. And he says that I should change this from defend self to something else. So essentially passive. The character will not move to attack automatically under any circumstances. Defend self, the character will not move to attack unless they are engaged by an enemy. That enemy is defeated, they will seek out new enemies to attack. He says that I should go with defensive. That's his recommendation. The character will actively seek out nearby enemies for combat regardless as to whether or not they are being directly attacked. So this should stop the I cast a spell and my people don't attack type thing. So I'm going to do that with all of my people. And theoretically, it's going to be okay. And there are other options here: class behavior, crowd control, defensive damage, so on and so forth. I'm going to leave most of that stuff up to me, so I do apologize if that drives anyone else insane. But the whole point is I want my companions, my other people, whatever, to, when they're done targeting something, whether it's a spell, skill, or whatever, they move on to another target, not just stand there. That's been one of the biggest issues that I've run into. The Colonel's also suggested I do some auto-pausing changes and whatnot, which is fine, but I just would rather have as little auto-pausing as possible, because I tend to just, pause at a moment's notice. And even now, where you enter the battle into combat, what have you, with a pause, it still throws me off a bit here and there. So, let's take a look. Oh, the whole map is actually revealed. That's interesting. A Brackenberry. So it looks like we have maybe a couple of ways out of here. The first fires. Admith's Den, the Expedition Hall. There's another path here. Back to the world map. So there's only 2 other places we can go. Oh, and the catacombs. Apparently we can go to the catacombs. I don't know that I want to do that necessarily. Maybe the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Well, I'll check the catacombs though. Why not? Let's go take a peek inside to see what's in here. I assume bad things are going to happen. We also may eventually return to Caed Nua soon, and maybe start our adventures underneath in the catacombs down below there, or the, I don't know, dungeons, whatever you want to call it, down beneath. Oh, there's a dead initiate. And there is a soul for us to go and apparently do something with. So that's going to be fun, or terrible. Alright. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you, as though you were a solitary light in the dark gloam of this place come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You are following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods, and shadows. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but you find yourself face to face with the troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. Sagani draws up next to you. You all right? Looks like it looked almost like you lost your footing for a minute. That happens from time to time. Feels that way when I see into the ether. I'm fine. Feels that way. She watches you quietly. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people is born with the ability to speak to souls. Usually such individuals become elders, or a lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see. But looking at you, I'm not so sure. This gift is a curse, neither am I. You're rather nosy, aren't you? My abilities are a blessing. Yeah, neither am I. Believe it or not, I once would have rejoiced to know I'd be picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Oh, don't you worry about him. He just likes doing that from time to time. Seems to cheer him up, so I just let him. Once you've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So apparently there's some stuff to be done down here, but I don't think we're going to do that. Viscous, foul-smelling sludge ebbs in the trench. Maybe we go a little bit further, but I'm not in any hurry to do battle combat or anything else. I probably should be sneaking, though. Oh gosh, there really are a whole bunch of trolls down here, isn't there? Oh boy. Okay, well, you know what? Why not? We'll fight a troll, maybe some of the jelly oozes and stuff, and it'll be okay.
Laying low.
Hey, Mr. Troll. Hi. Alright. So the troll is ready to get murdered. Surprise! Get knocked on your booty. Or just be, it's okay. It's okay. We're only at 12% for the troll. Interesting. Alrighty, Tumak.
The better part of valor.
The better part of the valor.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing over here? The Black Ooze, they wants to come and play. I'm gonna come over here, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna do some stuff. It's gonna be good. Alright, everybody. Charge forward and slaughter the fool. Floos. The floos? Floos. Alright, well that was super easy. I don't really want to explore this place that much, but
nice and quiet.
I don't really have much of a choice. Just, a lot of stuff going down. Oh, look, there's stairs, and I'm hearing weird noises. What?
Slow and silent.
Is there even
Light, flame and sound.
Okay. Is there even a point to being over here? The place actually seems relatively large. So I guess I'm pretty sure there's going to be more than just a little bit going down. Like I said, I am all for leveling up and all for doing the murder and the killing, but I also want to go and do some stuff in Defiance Bay. It just so happened that the place I had to stop at was the catacombs. Yeah, I suppose it's fine. We can just do the merds.
Onward.
Get him! Make him die! Yes.
The better part of valor.
Alright, so it looks like we've hit the edge of the... We don't necessarily have to break off and go down any of the other little deals. Uh-oh.
Charge!
What are you... Oh, what are you guys doing?
Hey.
Alright, I need to knock you on your butt, which is weird because I don't know that you necessarily have a butt.
If it makes you rest.
Alright, we're gonna do this. And I'm pretty sure our grieving mother is fine. Why is her focus down so far? Shouldn't it have been... Like, we just... It's down by... It was up to, like, 50. Does she only, like, keep, like, a very small resting amount? Because that kind of stinks.
I'll see what I can find.
Alright, we'll continue on. Like I said, not really prepared or ready or even wanting to go off the beaten path at this moment. So, if we could avoid doing some of these things, I would totally be okay with that. Well, that Jalouse is not going to do much.
And what does the flame
reveal? Whatever the flame wants to reveal. Alright, it appears like there's nothing else going down right now. So we're going to leave. We'll come back in. We'll do this later. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of mission, quest, objective, something that we need to do down below. So, that being said, we're not going to do it now. We are going to do it later. It will be a glorious, glorious thing. We will rejoice. We will be glad in it. And all that stuff. So, that being said, I guess we could take a look over here in this... Is this a building that exists? No? It is not a building that exists. So, I guess we go to the Goose and the Fox. We already talked to Gordy a little bit aggressively by picking him up and making him look like a fool. Viserys. You see a man crosses his arms and sticks his chin out. Moonlight and torchlight color his face. Bullcrap. The elf standing in front of him wears a panicked expression. Are you mad? I've seen it. The first man cries, raising a triumphant finger. You just said you'd only heard it. The elf blinks. What in the name of Galawain's beast does this have to do with anything? You said you'd only heard it. Now you're telling me it's a monster the size of 2 Aomawa with blood-dried fur. The man takes a step closer to the elf. And now I'm saying you're a liar, Doran. Doran sputters. Gods, Viserys. Who cares what it looks like? It's a rabid wolf. You saw what it did to the sheep. The elf throws up both hands, shaking his head. You want to stay out here all night to see the thing yourself? Have it your way. I'm getting out of here. Fine. Alright, good. The elf storms off, casting one last glance over his shoulder as he disappears down a hill. The man sets off in the other direction, a sword in one hand and a torch in the other. Within minutes he comes to a broken paddock where a dozen sheep lie dead, their throats torn and their innards scattered across the ground. It is not the work of a normal predator. Something crunches through the dry grass. Viserys spins but sees nothing. He raises his torch higher. This time, a rustling sounds from behind him, near the paddock. He turns again to see a wolf. It's not nearly as large as Doran had sworn, and while its fur is matted with red around its throat and paws, the rest of the elf's description has proven to be a rather lurid exaggeration. Typical. Viserys takes some small satisfaction in this, even while the wolf lunges for him, its jaws foaming and eyes rolling.
Yes?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Fine, cool. Onward to the inn! What will we see here? Possibly trolls and ogres and dancing monkeys. Probably not the monkey thing, but maybe. There's an actress. You'll find all sorts. Everyone's a philosopher here. Lively place, isn't it? Roy Ninguin. I like the music. Alright, so this Stelgier's pelt is thick with dust and moths. The plaque below the beast reads Maiden Falls 2682. Yeah, I kind of half did that off of glancing from before. Huh. It's Canra. Alright, what else we got? Oh, we can steal some things. Nobody would be the advisor.
Secrets whisper here. I shall do as you ask.
Nobody see.
What you ask is done.
We take ring. It is good. Okay, so, with that being said, we do take ring. It is good. And what are we going to get, ladies and gents? We are going to get a ring of Spirit Bane. Vessel Bane, and of Will +5. It's the Bartender's Ring. Plus 20 damage against Spirit, 20 damage against Vessel, and Will. I suppose we could put it on Sagani. I don't know that's going to necessarily help, but it's there. Brad Furis, or Furis. I got nothing. Actor, there's nothing going that way. Well, I am going to go talk to the bishop.
Welcome.
The man behind the bar is nearly the size of an Aomawa. A handle protrudes from his back. Okay, a handle, huh? And his face is set in a stoic frown. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink? There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand, but doesn't drink from it. Could I get a room? I'll order some refreshments. Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar at Barath. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts and you see a warhammer strapped to his back. What more is there to tell? How'd you go from religion to taverns? The journey isn't as long as you'd think. It started with Hollowborn, and with this. He takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son. He takes a drink. At the beginning of Widewind's legacy, he was one of the first. I never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth, yet every year more parents were grieving for their Hollowborn children, and the gods were silent. It's tough. He leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Barath promises rebirth, cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. He taps the bar. Have a drink. Have another, and another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before and I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone, so I came here. I've cleaned up since then, not that I've found my answers. He tosses the cup back. I've just stopped asking questions. Well, this is a lively place. It was founded in the early days of Deerwooden independence by a traveling scholar named Errol of Levi. He wanted a place where kith of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rests his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for this place to fill up. Brackenbury aristocrats argued with dock workers from the gift, while soldiers wrangled with politicians. Sure. Deerwoodens have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from the tiny cup. Now, what happens next? I can imagine things get interesting. Yeah. Soon kith were coming from the farms and settlements too. He waves at the door as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valian soldiers than the Salty Mast. And that was the problem. He drains his cup. No matter what people say about fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of that Thane. He shrugs, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped town. Head out somewhere, hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. He cracks a wry grin. If only he could see it now. Yeah, goodbye. Well, that was a thing, I guess. I'll talk to these guys another time. I'm gonna go talk to our gal over here. Kainora. Kainora. Got nothing. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching it with furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches up with one hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. What are you doing here? You look like you'd use another drink. What's that thing you're spinning? She glowers at her closed fist. Something I need to get rid of. Okay, what are you doing here? She takes a long drink from her glass, just trying to calm down and trying to talk myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Kendra looks up at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There's something I need to give my fiancé, Pernisk. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Who hit you? She shakes her head. I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Pernisk. It's these new friends of his. They brought out the worst in him. Tell me about the new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm no fool. I know what it means. Pernisk makes me leave when they show up, but it's obvious what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere else in the gift. Somewhere in the gift, I'm sorry, but not under my roof. She scowls and then winces, her fingertips gently probing the bruise. Svef changes you, I guess. The Pernisk I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. Never thought that he'd... She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discolored flesh. Well, maybe I can go talk to him. But Svef makes people calm and listless. It shouldn't make them violent. I thought Svef just made people lay around, not doing much. I'm going to go with 3. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I could go talk to him. Her hand rests on the table, and she clenches it into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. She opens her hand, and a ring clatters onto the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go back there myself, I know what'll happen. I'll lose my temper, and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. She points to her bruise. But I've heard you're trustworthy. Really? From who? Sorry. If you give this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take it to Pernisk. Alright, she looks at you and nods. The house is just north of here. Just, please don't hurt him. You seem like the forceful sort, but I don't want anyone getting hurt again over this. That goes for Pernisk or me. Huh, neat. His old self, you say? Brad Furris. Was there anybody else? I don't think so. A dwarf and an Orlane debate philosophy on the other side of the Cartan. Alright, well, I guess we'll go upstairs. Who knows what we'll find up here? Maybe there'll be a giant moose running rampant, killing people, and then we'll put it down, and then we'll have moose burgers for life. Probably not that. Oh, we have Dreadshot Daedon, Hurdy, Ilfa Key, and Two-Tone Weaksel. Okay.
Nothing is closed to the perceptive mind.
It's true. Nothing is closed to the perceptive mind. Hey, guys.
I shall be discreet.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Alright, well... As discreet as you want to be... Doesn't look like it's going to matter too much. Huh. We have another book. The Most Unfortunate Tale of Favia and Bernat. A Valian Tragedy. Well, that's a tragedy if I ever heard of one. I guess we got to talk to these peeps. Burly Almal raises a hand in greeting. Daedon is busy filing a spur off a small round bullet. Ilfa nods at you, a pint in one hand and a mace slung over her shoulder. The Orlan woman nods at you, a cup of wine in hand and a scepter across her lap.
Good day to you.
Aha! Two-Tone Weaksel. Or Weaxel, I have no idea. An Orlan man relaxes with his feet propped up on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with the with him exchange laughs and comments about the trio at a nearby table. Andy spins a dagger in his hand. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink. Who are all of you? The name's Two-Tone Weaxu. The lady next to me is Key. We've had our fun with the expeditions, but we're hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet. Well, for the next few weeks, anyway. The man at the next table nods at you. I'm a Dreadshot Dayton. This is Hurdy and Ilfa. We were part of separate expedition teams, but we both suffered losses and decided to band together. He takes several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, Beowicks. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one, too. At the next table, Daedon raises his glass, and here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted? Nope. That pretty much that's it, I guess. Alright, we're going to leave the old inn, and I guess we'll probably end up breaking off the episode. Yeah. It's been one of those days, folks. It's been one of those days. Alright, let's get on out of here, and I guess we'll head north to the house with his buddies. I mean, I don't know. It seems, yep, there's Pernisk's house. It was Kolsch, so it's probably like Pernisk's. I've got nothing. Hey, grappling hook. Alright, well, hopefully we don't get thrown immediately into dialogue and we can break off the episode and then in the next episode continue right where we left off. Yeah, it looks like that'll work. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this particular episode. In the next one, we talk to Pernisk, the addicts, and all the other crazy stuff, and we see how everything plays out. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.